Imagine this. A company pays a hefty advance to a vendor to build a custom factory machine, but just a week later, that same vendor goes completely bankrupt. They vanish into thin air, and they take the cash with them.
The amount lost in this real-life scenario? A staggering 50 lakh advance. Just gone. Poof. In the immediate fallout, the buyer who authorized that payment was fired on the spot. Why? Simply because they handed over company funds without demanding an advance bank guarantee. We're going to make sure your company's cash never suffers that same fate in this explainer.
Section 1. What is an ABG? The plain definition. Okay, let's dive into this.
So, in simple terms, an advance payment is just paying a vendor a chunk of the contract up front, right? You do this before they deliver the goods or start the work, usually to help them buy raw materials. But an advance bank guarantee, or ABG, is your legally binding safety net from the vendor's bank. It's a rock-solid promise that if the vendor fails to deliver or just takes off, the bank will instantly refund your advance payment in full.
Let's anchor this with something a bit more relatable. Imagine hiring a complete stranger to build you a custom dining table. They ask for 10,000 rupees up front to buy the wood. Now, handing cash to a stranger is incredibly risky, obviously. But what if that stranger's incredibly wealthy parents hand you a legally signed letter? And the letter says, hey, if he doesn't build your table, we will personally refund your cash. Suddenly, you're perfectly safe. This brilliantly illustrates the reality here. In the corporate world, the vendor's bank acts exactly like those wealthy parents.
Section 2. The 1 crore rescue mission at XYZ Limited. Let's look at exactly why this matters so much for finance pros and auditors. Meet Ria. She's ordering a highly customized generator, and the vendor demands a 30% advance payment. That's 1 crore rupees just to start production. Ria says sure, but she strictly refuses to release a single rupee until the vendor provides an ABG from a top-tier bank. Well, 6 months later, the vendor's factory actually goes out of business. Sounds like a total disaster, right? But it's not. Because Ria has the ABG, she simply takes the document to the vendor's bank, and the bank is legally forced to wire that 1 crore straight back to XYZ Limited. Zero financial loss. It's honestly remarkable how a massive corporate crisis gets downgraded to a simple, guaranteed bank transfer.
Section 3. Confusion Buster. ABG versus PBG. You know, beginners constantly mix these two up, so let's clear the air.
It breaks down like this. An advance bank guarantee protects your upfront cash. It's used before the work even begins. On the flip side, a performance bank guarantee, or PBG, protects the quality of the final product. It acts more like a warranty in case that machine breaks down after delivery. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. ABG protects your cash at the start, and PBG protects your quality at the end. Make sure you don't mix them up.
Section 4. The auditor's eye. So what are auditors actually hunting for when they review these guarantees? The ultimate red flag for an auditor is the expired guarantee. See, bank guarantees have strict, totally non-negotiable expiration dates. If a 1-year project gets delayed by an extra 6 months and a lazy buyer just forgets to force the vendor to legally renew the ABG, that guarantee silently dies. Poof. Auditors are out there hunting for broken tracking systems where companies literally have crores of unprotected advances just sitting with vendors, all because the ABGs were allowed to quietly expire mid-project. To bring it all together for you, an advance gets the project moving, but an ABG ensures your cash is never, ever stolen. Which brings us to the most important question of this entire explainer. Really ask yourself, are your company's advances truly protected right now, or are your guarantees silently expiring as we speak? You might want to go check your tracking systems today. We'll be exploring even more risk safety nets in our next explainers, so stay tuned.